Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Way of Life. I'm your host, Gus Holland. Before we begin this episode, I want to inform you that wayoflifepodcast.com is officially live. That's where you can find all social media links. You can listen to the podcast. You can also find merch. That's WHEY, like the protein. As always, leaving a rating and review and sharing with a friend is the best way to help the podcast, and I greatly appreciate it. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode. I hope y'all are having a great Wednesday so far. Today I'm going to be covering gym bags, everything to do with them, what to put in them, what kind of bags there are, why you need one, why you might not. Now going into this, I do want to just clarify that most gym bags that people use are duffel bags. There's different types of duffel bags, but I would say the vast majority are duffel bags. Besides duffel bags, you can use backpacks, shoulder bags, messenger bags, and really any form of tote. In the past, I've used backpacks and duffel bags for the most part. I've always preferred a duffel bag, but it really depends on what you're using it for, what you're carrying, how much room you have in your vehicle, etc. Now, for a really long time, I used a duffel bag that was kind of just loose and flimsy. It was very large. I like that aspect of it because I carry a weight belt and some supplements and, some other things in there. So I wanted the extra room, but it wasn't really that much of a reinforced bag. And from experience, I've started to lean more towards semi-reinforced bags or bags with compartments in them. Just starting off with the standard duffel bags. I mean, you can find a duffel bag at Goodwill for as low as like $10, $15. You can go all the way up into like $300-$400 for a duffel bag that's geared toward the athletic community that may or may not be better or worth that price difference to you. But like I said, it all depends on what you're carrying. Besides duffel bags, the second most common option is backpacks. Recently, because there's been quite a big revamp within the fitness community, in my opinion. Back when I was in high school, you would just get an extra backpack or, some crappy bag that you had laying around and you would just like throw stuff in it. I mean, and that's as a high schooler, but now backpacks, I mean, they even make specific backpacks for the weightlifting community that have like, instead of a standard cup holder, it's, sized out to fit a shaker cup. And, there's all kinds of options and stuff to fit certain pre-made meal kits. But getting into more of what you're going to be carrying inside of your bag, this can range anywhere from safety equipment to supplements, food, clothes for after the gym, your clothes from before the gym. If you want a specific area or compartment within the bag for dirty clothes, to keep everything separate and as clean as possible or hygienic. You can also incorporate an area within the bag to hold other pieces of accessory equipment such as elastic bands or foam rollers. So in regards to your specific type of training, obviously if you're more into just like yoga and running, you're going to have different stuff in there versus like a strongman or a powerlifter athlete. A lot of those differences you can kind of infer for yourself, but for example, with the yoga, you probably won't be able to fit a yoga mat within the bag, but maybe you get a special duffel bag that has like a Velcro strap on the outside where you can keep your rolled up yoga mat on the outside of your duffel bag and carry it all at once. But starting off with the essentials that I would say are in a lot of gym bags, not necessarily all of them. You're going to have some form of water container. This is normally a water bottle or a water jug. It's a smart idea to have a towel in there. Not all fitness clubs or gyms offer free clean towels that are readily available. So it's always smart to bring your own and keep it nice and clean. Additional clothing for after the gym. I normally don't do this. I kind of just, I don't really like using a lot of the gym facilities. So I work out and dip out, go home, take a shower, clean up, wash my clothes there and everything. But if you're carrying a pair of clean clothes for after the gym, it is smart to either have a bag within your bag or some type of sectioned off compartment area where you specifically put your dirty clothes, to try and kind of keep it separate from all your other stuff. Now, this doesn't apply to everyone, but some people prefer to have specific shoes for their activity, whether it's lifting shoes or specific running sneakers, or you name it. You can carry those within that bag as well. Also, to keep your bag clean internally, you can purchase a separate bag for these shoes, or even I've seen these kind of elastic bags that go over the soles specifically, just to kind of try and keep dirt, mud, rain, whatever it is, out of your bag. If you're using the shower facilities within the gym, or really any other facilities that kind of lean toward a spa or wellness, like a sauna or cold plunge, it's a good idea to have some flip-flops in your bag. Besides that stuff, I'm going to just kind of run through some quick options that aren't necessarily going to pertain to everybody, but might fit your certain scenario. There's hair ties, medical latex type gloves for first aid or anything else you might need. Energy bars and snacks, wipes, heart rate monitors, an extra hoodie, foam rollers, deodorant, cleaning supplies, and combs or hairbrush. Now, in regards to the actual training implements that I mentioned earlier, there's resistance bands, foam rollers, yoga mats, and a jump rope, to just name a few examples. Now, just throwing a scenario out there, say if you're training more toward a hypertrophy, kind of like a bodybuilding type of workout plan, it may be important to you to carry multiple supplements and or pre-made meals. So sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes those backpacks are a better way to go for that. They make specific backpacks that are meant to contain pre-made meals, several at a time, shaker cups, supplements, etc. Some people swap out the components within their bag on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis, depending on their type of training. I personally like to just have a bag that's big enough to carry everything, as long as it will fit within my locker or the given space that I have within my truck. That way, by carrying everything that I could possibly need or use, that gives me options to, like, if I get to the gym and a certain piece of equipment that I wanted to use is down for maintenance, or it's just really busy at the gym and I'm not going to be able to have easy access to it and I need to change up my workout plan for the day, it's good to have options. Now, if your gym has lockers, whether they're signed or not, it is a good idea to bring some form of locking mechanism for the locker, and at the very least for the gym bag, if at all possible, obviously somebody steals your bag, it's pretty easy to get into, even if it's locked up, but that could deter somebody from just unzipping it real quick and looking through it or trying to snag something real quick. I think I did leave out headphones. That is a big thing in the gym, especially with the younger generation going. I've noticed it's like a big deal to have a full headphone. I do know that they're nice to have for noise canceling effects, but also they tend to have better sound quality compared to like an earbud or something. I always just go with the earbud, just because they're smaller and easier to carry, stuff like that. I'm not so worried about breaking them. I do think it is a great idea to always carry something that is kind of like an electrolyte replacement, whether that's something as simple as a pre-made drink like a Gatorade or a Body Armor, all the way up to something that's kind of more
engineered toward the fitness community and the and working community, like a liquid IV or some sort of electrolyte replacement that you can kind of just mix in a bottle. I carry multiples of these because I use them often, but that way I also have some if I want to give one to someone or something like that, or multiple flavor options. Outside of hydration, you can bring pre or post-workout snacks. This includes, bars, protein powders. Some people like to carry their whole container of pre-workout and kind of just have like a mobile supplement thing, which is cool, especially if you're working out with others. I've almost always worked out by myself, but if you're working out with buddies and somebody forgets their pre-workout and you happen to have your jug with you, that's cool too. Also, other supplements that you could carry, it's gonna vary depending on the type of exercise that you're trying to accomplish. But you could bring creatine pre-workout, whey and casein protein, casein. You could bring nitric oxide inhibitors, various forms of fat burners, testosterone boosters, you name it. It all just depends on not only the way you work out and where you work out, but your schedule from day to day. If you're working 8 to 12 hours a day and you're going straight to the gym after that, then obviously you're going to need different things than if you're going to the gym, in the morning and then going back home and having a little bit of free time before you go to school or whatever. Everybody's schedule is different, but it is important to build out your bag according to what's best for you. Some people bring their own lifting accessories. And when I'm talking about lifting accessories, I mean like things such as lifting chalk. A lot of powerlifting and strongman gyms provide kind of like a communal chalk or something like that. And maybe for cleanliness or just convenience, you can bring your own, in regards to cleanliness, you can bring hand sanitizer, you can bring your own soap, shampoo, conditioner, depending on how much you're using the facilities at the gym or where you're going afterward. Besides that, safety is, for me, it's number one. So I always bring my weight belt, wrist straps, elbow sleeves if you have them, knee wraps, knee sleeves, any type of safety implement that you might need, you should just have it with you, I think. I never use wrist wraps or gloves. That is a personal choice because I feel for my type of training and what suits me best, if my grip strength isn't there to be able to pick something up, then I shouldn't be picking it up. That's the way I look at it. For me personally, that is not the be all end all of grip, of training or grip strength philosophy. But I do realize that it has helped me over time, just kind of forcing my body to adapt and be able to grip things easier for longer amounts of time. Just going without gloves and wrist wraps. I also don't use lifting straps or anything like that. I'm not opposed to them, and I do see the positive potential for using certain things at certain times. So if you have those, you should always bring them just in case you need them. Last but not least is first aid. Most gyms should have first aid kits available, as well as anything you might need for CPR or AED. This isn't always the case, or sometimes it's not as easily accessible as it should be, or whatever, or you just want your own stuff. I personally bring my own, just like a mini first aid kit, Band-Aids, Neosporin, something to clean, like if I get a cut or a callus rips or whatever. It's kind of just good to have. It's also for those of you that kind of have trouble making friends within the gym or what, you name it. It's always good to have like a little bit of extra. It's kind of, it's kind of like high school. Like you bring some gum and you share it with somebody and then that starts a conversation. It sounds stupid, but like it happens, if somebody's dehydrated, you give them a stick of like electrolyte replacement stuff to add to their water. And they're like, oh, thanks. And then that maybe they ask you for a spot or you ask them for a spot. And that's kind of how you start a conversation and maybe a friendship or whatever. It goes the same thing with like first aid stuff. That's just my little 2 cents on that, I guess. Anyways, just to wrap this episode up, like I said, most bags are duffel bags. Second best option normally is some form of backpack. Depending on your training methods and what all you need to bring with you, that will determine what type of bag is best for you and how big it needs to be and what you need to put in it. Remember to keep safety number one. Remember to always keep safety number one and be sure to bring enough for others. Thank you all for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please leave a rating or a review on whatever platform you're using to listen to this on. The second best way is to share it with a friend. Having more listeners is always awesome. Besides that, wayoflifepodcast.com is live. There is a shop with a couple merch options on there to support the podcast. You can find that at wayoflifepodcast.com/shop, SHOP. The hotline will be in the description below if y'all want to call in, suggest a topic, suggest a guest to have on the podcast, or for any other reason. Once again, thank y'all so much. I hope y'all have an amazing Wednesday, and I will be talking to y'all later. All right. Bye.